Well, hello there, I'm Détroit. I'm drawing with colored pencils today. Now that's unusual. The way this is gonna go, first I'll be talking about the drawing, using pencils and stuff like that, and later I'll be sharing with you my thought experiment to rate success on YouTube. So watch the video until the end and, I don't know, subscribe, because why not? So, colored pencil doodles. It's something I've never done on video, I think. It's probably due to the fact that I haven't used colored pencils for like 8 years maybe. It's not really my thing. No, let me rephrase that. I don't really like it. I love to draw in any shape or form, even on medium different from paper, but I like to use colors for digital stuff and simple black ink for abstract drawings. More than that, I like drawing abstract stuff when I'm not using a digital graphics tablet. And the opposite is also true, I don't draw abstract stuff on tablet. The thing is, for me, color doesn't add anything to abstract drawings. This is why I never did it before. I thought today maybe it would change, but now that I've colored an abstract drawing, I realize I still don't really like it. The feeling of using colored pencils is strange. Maybe I'm not using really good pencils and the lack of feeling comes from that, but usually it doesn't matter that much. I'm used to using very cheap tools to draw. But these pencils, I don't know, there is something about them. They don't react the way I want. I need to work to blend the colors. Maybe it's in the range of pressure I need to use. I think I don't like how I need to press really hard to deepen the color and press really light to soften the strokes. If the range was a bit smaller, like the difference in pressure was limited, it would be nicer for me. I do draw with graphite pencils and it's much easier to deepen the gray or lighten it than it is with these pencils. So when I make this drawing you're watching, there's already an extra work required to make the tools behave the way I want. The whole reason I draw abstract stuff is to stop thinking, so it goes against that. Next point, why I'm not fond of colored pencils. Of course, when you work with colors, you have to think about color theory. Not every color goes with every color. The more interesting combinations comes from radically different colors, like blue and orange, but here I feel restricted by the colors that I have, and so I need to think about how to coordinate them. Again, thinking equals not what I want. Also, I'm scared when I use colors on paper. I am bad with color picking and color theory in general. I just barely manage to do something passable when I draw digitally, but here I can't even change the colors after I use them. There is no undo and that scares me a little bit. I'm saying all that, but I still had a fun time drawing. Something I can't take away from the colored pencils is the patience and the relaxing feeling you get when you gently draw circles pressing from soft to hard to blend. So there you have it. I said something nice about pencils. Let's go back to saying bad things about it. A more concrete reason why I probably won't do it too much more concrete than just feeling, is how hard it is to film. My setup isn't the best. I have constant trouble lighting my desk when I film a drawing process for a video. Usually it ends up working because black ink on white paper is high contrast and the webcam above the sketchbook can pick it up. But here the tones change are too subtle. Simply speaking, the top-down view is useless for half of the drawing because the camera doesn't see what I'm doing. Even something like taking a picture of the finished drawing is hard. Usually I use a strong white light on the page, take a picture, then augment the contrast on Photoshop and tweak the curves a bit so that the page appears purely white and the ink purely dark. But here I can't do that. The page looks grey and I can't change it, lest I change the colored parts too. I'm used to do complex research on high-level topics and solve problems that are much bigger and more impactful than that, and yet I can't take a single good picture of a colored drawing for the life of me. So now that you know my opinion on using colored pencils, let me present you my opinion on metrics of success on YouTube. If you don't know, I'm a PhD student. I do research in condensed matter physics in a lab. As such, my job involves a lot of reading. I read a lot of articles on the compounds I study, on physics in general, on theory, etc. There is a metric that is used to rate researchers according to their publications. It's called the H-index. What if I tried to apply that to YouTube instead? For more context, here is what the H-index is. Whether it's a good metric or not, I won't get into that debate. The H-index is an integer n, corresponding to the n articles that are cited at least n times. So if you publish one paper and it's never cited, you have a H-index of 0. If it's cited at least once, you have a h-index of 1. If you have 10 papers and they are cited 1,000 times each, your h-index is 10. If one of them is only cited 3 times, however, then you only have 9 papers cited at least 9 times, so your index is 9. So I was wondering how I could apply the same reasoning for YouTube. Allow me to develop this little thought experiment. So obviously, instead of articles, we'll be looking at videos uploaded on YouTube. But for the citations, we can try different things. My first idea was to count n videos that are viewed n times. It was a hassle to count, I'll tell you that, but the result is an index of 66. My 66 most viewed videos all have at least 66 views. However, there are things I don't really like with this metric. It could work for a small channel like mine, but if you look at the case of bigger channels, it kind of falls apart. Views are too easy to get, and after a while the index would only be limited by the number of videos uploaded. Take someone of Drophy's caliber, for example, with millions of subscribers. They are regularly getting hundreds of thousands of views with each video, if not millions. So their index is basically the number of videos, and that is not a good measure of the importance and impact of their videos. So, what other metric can we look at? What if I counted the n videos with at least n likes? But again, that's the same problem. For a bigger channel, it's limited by the number of videos. I still counted for this channel of mine, and it was even harder to count than the previous one. My result was an index of 12, meaning 12 videos with at least 12 likes. Anyway, I think I have to include the subscriber count into the equation. How about the number of videos with at least as many views as my subscriber count? This one is easier to count. My result is 5. I have 5 videos with over 520 views. I'm starting to like this metric more than the others. If we take the limiting cases, for when a channel is very small or very big, it works better than the others, but not great. For the biggest case possible, like PewDiePie doesn't get 100 million views with each video. Basically, the way the index work, you're almost limiting your index with your number of subscribers. That's true at almost every channel size, I think. Take a look at my videos. Ever since I started, the regular amount of views on each of my videos is basically 5 to 10% of the subscriber count at the time. So in the end, this index is quite nice, but it doesn't really reflect what I want, because the more the channel grows, the harder it is to reach a higher index. However, it works quite well to measure the growth of a channel, or the number of viral videos, with viral in quotation. I don't really like to use the word viral because you always need a scale to consider something viral or not, but I can't think of another word right now. So today we explored a few metrics at the thought experiment. It turns out it's really hard to make a single dimensionless metric for success on YouTube. And just like the h-index in research, it doesn't necessarily mean much in terms of the importance of your work. You always have to combine different indexes to get a good result. Or even better, you could stop trying to measure your success. You can never be satisfied with the result since we all strive for success when we don't have it, and we strive for more success when we do. Instead, let it be and stop looking at your analytics every 10 seconds. Focus on your work instead. Take out your pencils and draw some pretty shapes. I hope you enjoyed this drawing process and this thought experiment. Like the video and tell me in the comment your own index for whichever of the ideas I gave earlier. The highest wins, let's say. Subscribe for more art regularly and check out my previous artworks on my social media linked in description. I'm Detroit and I probably won't use pencils for a while now. Bye!